What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna show you how to do this little battle scar fix right here. So we were moving the sight and accidentally cut his string. Or I'm sorry, we were moving his peep and he accidentally cut his string. And I'm gonna show you guys how you can fix this and still continue your hunt in case this happens to you out in the woods or at deer camp. You don't have access to get to a bow shop or whatever. You don't want to be out of town on an out of town hunt and get stuck. So I wouldn't take it in the backyard and shoot a bunch of arrows every day, but to be able to make your shot, keep your hunt going and keep you alive in the woods, we'll fix it and then you just get a new string. We're gonna make them a new string later. So what you do is you wanna go on this side and tie this in right here. Then we're just gonna serve it in like you would normally do. If I can get my hand around it. We want to use small, we're using a smaller string and we're only gonna do 3 wraps because we gotta be able to move his peep back where he wants it, where it goes when we're done. All right, so there's 1. I think I got about 3 foot too much.
You want to cut some of it off?
No. Okay, here we go. Real hard to deal with this in this little hole right here too. You gotta keep that shit out of the way too. Put this peep on down some. And now you want to pull your tag in over here and then continue to wrap it. There's 1. There's 2. And all this is just regular back serving, like you're tying in a regular peep or something like that. Get the 3, grab your long one, pull it back down, pull it nice and tight. And now what you have is you have your you have it served tight up against that frayed part right there. So we just we'll cut this off on both sides. Lay that string down. Grab my lighter. All right, then we'll just burn it in. Got a little wind blowing in here. Remember, always burn up. Now we'll take these strings, these cut strings, and trim them down just a hair, because they're still pretty long. And you'll burn them. And this basically is the same way when you build a string. Pretty much is the same way they do when they're when they back serve a string. When they get their tag ends and they flip them back and tie them back together, it's basically the same thing. Now what we can do is we can slide this up over this mess, get your peep back up here where it goes or where you're going to want it close. We'll open up this other side. We got to do the same thing here. And the reason I don't want to do this in a bow press is because you're not going to have a press if you're doing a fix in the woods. So what we need to do now is we need you to, let's set your peep up, and then I'm going to tie this one in when I actually tie your peep in. Ready? All right, guys, so he got it over and he drew back and he got his peep back where he needs it to be. You can see we moved it way up from where this little fix was, which is good, because now what we're going to do is we're going to serve in this other side. But what we're going to do is we're going to start serving here, because this string is wanting, naturally, it wants to go that way, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to serve on the bottom first. Oh, sorry. I like to do 5. That's 4. And then there's 5. And we'll pull this one, snug it up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the other side of this, just like we did on the bottom. But instead of just starting, I'm going to keep wrapping this until we get all that, until we get up that string a little ways, so I can pull it super tight. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see what this looks like. So now you can see how we have all that string cramped in there in between these two right here. And we can sock them down. See how it's captured in there? So we will go ahead and now wrap this bad boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lay this back over, wrap it up. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pull her tight. Cut them off. Yeah, this serving here that you got, I don't know where, did you get this at Bass Pro or something?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a little bit thick. It's a little thicker than I like it to be. It'll work though. And it'll work perfectly fine until we get your string made. So now we're going to cut this excess bull crap here off too. And I know everybody panics, but it's literally the same exact way you serve it in for your, wherever you cap on for your string, where you would be making these connections like that right there. It's the same way they serve them in when you make your string. And the only difference is however many strands broke is how many strands your string is going to be weak in between. So your only weak point is going to be between here and there, where your peep is, right? The rest of your string still has all the strands, all the same strands, but you're going to be whatever you cut weak in between here and here. But this is not to go shoot a 3D tournament. This is to continue your hunt and be able to not have to go home and ruin your whole hunt, you know what I mean? This is just to get you by until the till you can get back home. So I'm gonna serve right over that old stuff, I mean the repair. It's not gonna be beautiful, but all it's gonna do is give you that much more
Just serve over the repair on both sides.
yeah, it's gonna give you that much more support until you can get home and get it fixed, right? And then wrap it. I'm just gonna do 5 and 5. You can do as many as you like, or at least as many as you like. I always like to do at least 5. Add one more. Whoop. Pull your tag in over. Same as you back serve anything. Pull it nice and tight. And now that string that was cut, it can't go anywhere. Especially if you're just going to be over there. You might get up in the morning, check your sights on your bow, make sure you didn't bump on your road trip or climbing in and out of the tree stand. I like to shoot mine at least once every time. And like I said, it ain't gonna be beautiful, but it's gonna be served in, and it's gonna have you protected so you can still hunt. Cut them. Burn them in. Now we gotta tie in your actual peep. Let me grab it. All right, guys, we got us another piece of serving. We're just gonna tie in his peep now, and there's 1,000,001 different ways to tie in a peep. I like to do it like this. I just do a double over and under, just like I tie in like a knock set. I'll do one on top, one on the bottom, 2 wraps. Make sure you get it seated inside there real good. So that's 2, and I'll do another one. Three. Now what I do is I'll take this tag in, I'll go here. Pull it up nice and tight like that. Do the same thing with this other one. I'll go through here. Pull it up nice and tight. Then I'll do one more double wrap. Sock it down. Now what you have is you have it tied around. You have it around like this, but you also have it tied individually on each side around each string. And then I'll bring it to the bottom and just tie my final knot. This time I only do one when I tie my final knot. I don't do a double stitch on it, or whatever you want to call it. Try to get it right there in the bottom, so I'm not trying to burn my tag ends on top of the string. It'll always be on my top of my serving. Have that bad boy, pull it tight. Cut it off. Melt it down. Always burning up. And he's ready to go back hunting in the woods. It might not be the most beautiful because of all the knots, but he can go hunting. He does not have to go home. He can finish his hunt. He can, he'll be perfectly fine. So once you get that all set up right there, he can go back in the woods. He can continue his hunt. He hasn't wasted all of his time and money traveling, getting hotels, being out of town, or just being here on the weekend at home on a Sunday and he can't get a bowstring, and then they take 3 or 4 days to come in. This will cover you until you get your new string, and then you'll be good to go. Appreciate it, guys.